Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is the Spartan Toy Hunter and this is the next project. What we're going to do here is we're going to be taking a look at the starting lineup. We have Steph Curry and we have LeBron here. So I was able to get an extra LeBron so I can actually make this happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to boil and we're going to see how this looks completely apart. And we're going to also take a look a little bit later on where we could place these hands on what figures and how they're going to look once we put it on there. So we're going to go ahead and get the boiling process going, and when we come back, LeBron James will be as far apart in pieces as we could possibly make it, and we'll go and take a look and see what it looks like under the jersey. Alright, be right back. So here is LeBron taken apart, and we're going to start from the head and work our way down. So the head itself is like any other. It just has a much smaller peg, or a much smaller hole to plug into. Let me give you a heads up. Let me show you right there. And it's attached to the neck, so it's very similar to how it's built for a G.I. Joe Classified. So then we have the torso. And then we have the shoulders that attach, and these are a little bit different. You go ahead and grab the G.I. Joe plug for the shoulder so you can see the difference between the two. So here are the differences there. So this would be, if I just eliminate that big ring right there, nothing would stop me from using this as a G.I. Joe arm replacement, using a LeBron James. So that's the shoulder, and the bicep swivel. It's very similar. Not much difference plugging the bicep in. I think it could be pretty comparable. I might show that in this video. And now we get to the torso region here. Can this be taken off? Yes, but there's a little hitch. Once you remove this, let me show you what ended up getting in my way. Was that this jersey, at this point right here, right in the mid back, plugged into a little canal right here that glued in. So when you do heat this up and you're trying to remove it, just know that you're going to need to get back in there and do a little blade cutting to help. Most of it came off with the heat, but you're probably going to need to maybe tear off a little bit of piece. So if you're able to take it off cleanly more than what I just showed you right now, you might have gotten lucky. So this is my first try at doing this. So now you know what this looks like. You know, you just got the jersey. So you know what? I have a figure here that I wanted to try out. So I'm going to see if I can put this onto it, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I microwaved some water. It's nice and hot. You can probably see the steam. So it's time to dunk the jersey in there. I'm going to give it maybe about 30 seconds, and we'll take it back to the room and we'll put it onto this Vulcan torso here. So alright, so it's nice and gummy, so let's go ahead and put this on here. Might take a little bit of shimmying, but it will go in. Just got to switch from one side to the other. It is not stretching too much, so you don't have to worry about any tearing. Yeah, thank you for bearing with me. Just wanted to kind of show you in real time what it looked like to put this jersey on. This is basically what it feels like off camera. All right, I think we're getting someplace. There we go. It's coming down. There it is. So there is the jersey on the Vulcan body mold right there. So this, I'm a little curious. I think we have the arms here. So I think I'm going to take these arms and then put them on so you can see what it looks like. See what it looks like. But let me just give you a turnaround here. Now I think the only issue that I'm noticing here is that the back is rising up a little bit here. So we're going to see if we can shimmy it back a little bit there. That might be good. So, all right, let me get those arms on and I will show you what it looks like. So this is what it looks like with LeBron's arms on the on the Vulcan body torso here. So it does fit. It's a little loose. The shoulders aren't big enough to fill in. So let me show you. So Vulcan's shoulders are much thicker, which fills in the butterfly joint there. So it gets cut off a little bit and the arms don't push down by the side, so it limits how far it can go beside the body. So I'm going to heat some more water and put the Vulcan body mold arms on there and we'll see what it looks like. Alright, so here's what it looks like with the Vulcan arms here. Much better. They do come closer to the sides and it's not fits perfectly. It's a little loose right now because it's still nice and warm, so once this cools down it stiffens up. So now let's take a look at the legs. So I tried to put the short, at least a piece of the shorts, onto here to see if they were mobile, and it's very stiff. The pelvic region of this Vulcan body mold does not allow it to move around freely, so it does go out, barely goes forward, and it doesn't go back because the backside here just cuts it off. So if we take a look, if we compare the Vulcan with LeBron's, as you can see, this is more room for the joint and for these shorts to move around. So we're going to go ahead and take these off, and I think I might try putting this on another figure to see what it looks like. And I think I'm going to choose the Blue Marvel. So we're going to see what that looks like. Alright, so we've come across our very first fail attempt. So these two body molds are completely different. The Vulcan body mold actually has removable arms. This Blue Marvel one, which I believe is the Bucky Cap mold, is solid inside. So it actually, if I'm going to take these arms off, I would have to break the torso. So that could be a big problem. So we're going to probably have to avoid that. So let's put this away. So I think I'm going to check to see if there's another figure. I think I have a Spider-Man, so I'm going to grab that and see if we can do something with it. Alright, so I got my Spider-Man action figure. I believe it's the Amazing Spider-Man, the retro carded. And I decided to put the jersey on him, and it looks a little baggy, looks a little bigger, but still looks pretty good. But there is something else I did. I took LeBron's shoes and I put it onto his feet, and it worked. I heated it and it was a little bit different. Let me see, the pegs, this was a little thinner than the Spider-Man. It was a little bit bulkier, but when it was shoe was heated, it actually allowed for me to slip it on. So hopefully it doesn't enlarge it, but I think it looks pretty good right here. So if you do have a regular clothes, like for instance this right here, let's see what happens if we switch them out. And here you go. So you have, I switched out, I believe this was the, oh no, this was a kit bash of, this was Bruce Banner right here. So what I did was I switched out the black shoes that were there, and I ended up putting the LeBron's shoes right here. So take a look. Let's get zoomed in there. There we go. Now you can probably repaint these a different color if somebody wanted. So let's take a look at the articulation. So it points up. Okay. It does have limitations. It does turn. Points, oh, a little bit further that way. And then lifts. It gets, the tongue of the shoe tends to get in the way there. So that's the only thing I would probably say is the issue, but it does look pretty good. Now, I'm going to put that aside here. I'm going to go get the blue marble. So we might not have been able to get the jersey onto him, but what he can make up for is the hands do fit into the socket here. And his skin tone, I'm checking to see, maybe you can see it better than I do. Let me get a little light in there. I think it's as close as it could possibly be. And if you want, grab the basketball hand. And now you got yourself a blue marble action pose dribbling. So it looks really good. I love what this, you know, the starting lineup may not have actually been a hit, and I think to a kit basher, I think this was the best possible scenario that we could have had, because as you can see, there's a lot of stuff that could be done with these. You can replace shoes with more, I mean, let's face it, these are better basketball shoes for action figures. And you can still use the hands to really give a character more action poses, basketball. Now, if I do get any of the X-Men ones, I think one of the things I would be trying to do is trying to find a way to get this onto maybe the Wolverine and try to maybe relive the 90s comic book, especially when they were playing basketball. So I'll try and see if I can get some images on those, or just put it on the next project. So I'll keep tinkering with this. So just wanted to show you. For this to fit, this is what it looks like. You pop it in, and these little lines here, right there, they slip into those right there, those little slits. So you got the chest, which I don't think I think I'm gonna put him back together so you can see what he looks like without the jersey on. Alright, so here's LeBron without his shirt. A little shiny, but this is what it looks like with the jersey, and this is what it looks like without the jersey. So the body types are not quite, it's pretty basic. So there's not a lot of muscle tone, there's a lot of maybe chest, broad shoulders, but not a lot of ab definition here. And the back, unfortunately, suffers from that little connection that keeps the jersey in place. So got the legs back on here. So I also wanted to show you, this is what it looks like. That detaches. Boil, pop, be very careful. And also the sock too. The sock actually attaches right here. So there's, let me see, 1, 2, 3 parts, including the shoes, probably 4 parts to the leg. So let me see, does that, I think that basically is the same as the G.I. Joe Classified, so there's not much difference there. But this, there's a lot of these pieces do play a big part in making another figure look very different from the production line that Hasbro brings out. Marvel Legends, 2 instances. Oh, let me get that cable out the way there. That's not supposed to be there. So now you got a good action pose, good dribbling. Got another use of the hand here. And these finger pointing ones are kind of odd to me. They're too thin. The way that they're holding their finger, it's kind of weird. But let's take it apart. And there you go. And you got yourself an Uncle Sam, I Want You. There we go. So that looks really good right there. So I'm going to go ahead and get set for the next part. This will be the final piece, and that brings Steph Curry, not so much his body, but mostly his hands. So we're going to bring in the Power Princess, and I'm going to show you exactly how these hands are not quite as big. With the figure I'm about to bring out, I'll show you the size comparison. Alright, so here is Power Princess lined up with Steph Curry, no pun intended. And as you can see, she's towering over him, which made me take a look at the hands. And her hands, this is basically what she came with. The 2 hands, the fisted and the open hand, and then she has the 2 gripping hands for the swords on either hands that she has there. So on the Steph Curry ones, let's take a look at an average one that I had. As you can see, Steph's is a lot longer in the peg there. So what I did was I ended up cutting it, shaving. Let me see if I can line this up here. Sorry. Just need to make this into a better position here. So, yep, had to shave a tip a little bit off the top there, right there. So just go little by little if you want. Don't try to cut it too deeply so you don't regret like losing the peg. But with that being said, you would have not just one open hand, but you would be able to have 2 of them. So, and they fit fairly well. Shimmy, and it will go in. That's 1. Oh, I'm gonna use a pointing finger. I'm having fun with that tonight. So there we go. And now I think the tones are as close as they could possibly be. So maybe a little bit different, but for the most part I think it's, most people are not going to tell the difference. Maybe some of you will. But this one here, a little hush finger right there, or a challenge point. It works pretty well. So nicely done. Wish I had a turntable. I may invest in that sometime in the future. So now when it comes to her shoes, I feel like, I mean, it's up to you if you wanted to switch them out. Curry's on hers, well, it might work, but I think the hands will do it for now. So all right, so let's bring these back up here. We got another pointing. We got shirts versus skins. We have Cool Doctor right here. Let me put them sideways like that. And there we go. All right. So that's gonna do it for tonight. I feel like we covered a lot of ground, and there is a lot that we were able to do with the starting lineup. So I really like we were able to make anybody, either Marvel Legends or even G.I. Joe possibly, put them a jersey, let them be a fan of either Steph or of LeBron. So then we were actually able to use the shoes to be placed on a Marvel Legends or a G.I. Joe, which is, I think, is going to be a little bit harder. Maybe with the, but since I have it here, let me go ahead and get that, and we're going to try to see if it'll happen on the shipwreck. So I wanted to show you a quick before. And this is the after. Pay no attention to the hairless man. So let's move these guys out the way here. Let's take a look at that. So I guess you guys are going to have to be the judge on that to see if you like it. I think it's pretty good. I think the purple just kind of messes up the whole color dynamic here. So I'll have to either repaint it or do something different with this. So, all right. So I think that's now that's going to be the end of the video right here. So hopefully you guys are still tuned in. So if you have anybody who kind of tuned in early or tuned out early, make sure to kind of let them know that there was some bonus content at the end there. So you've got yourself, yeah, so if you change, so this might be another project for another day, just switching out the top here. But now you have some new kicks here for Shipwreck. And these pants here that kind of look a little bit more like regular civilian clothes. So, well, take that off real quick, and yeah, it gets better. I think I'm going to have to try and see if I can cut this out. It's attached to the side right there, so we're going to go ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today, and this is the second video of the new year, and I want to thank everybody for getting me over the 1,000 subscriber mark. I really do appreciate it. I hope I'm really helping out as many people as I can get some good ideas. I mean, this is the best time. You have the starting lineups that are out on Ross, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and if you do find it, any type of skin tone, grab it. LeBron, Giannis, which I'm still looking for, and we got Steph, and then we have let me see, Trae Young, we have John Morant, we have all types of people, different skin tones for all of them. So grab them, use them, and check to see how you can switch them in and out of other figures. So thank you, everybody, and I will see you at the next project.